Dogs do all sorts of things to get our attention, but do you really understand what they mean? There are ways to read their body language, and Ross was just put to the test.
So what does it mean when your dog licks his lips or pulls his ears back? Well, today we're going to learn about some of our four-legged friends' behaviors and what they mean. Hi, Michelle.
Hi.
So I understand you have a possum behavior quiz for me today. Is that right?
Yes, I do. You're hilarious. Yes, I do. I want to see if I can stump you.
I think we should jump right into this quiz. What we're going to do is we're going to throw some pictures up on the screen of different dogs and kind of what they may be doing. And then I'm going to have to try and guess the behavior, and then you'll school me up from there. Sound good?
That sounds perfect.
Okay. I'm going to start with this first dog right here. It looks like a chihuahua to me, or some variation of one. And I think, personally, I recognize this behavior right off the bat, because to me it looks like a dog that's maybe timid, cautious, possibly even afraid.
First thing, nice job. You nailed it. But I want to take it a step further. So you mentioned sort of cautious, and I think that the dog is on red alert, right? I think we'll take it up a notch and take it from like the yellow light to the red light. This dog is really, really worried and upset. And there's a bunch of components of its body language that tell us that. So you nailed some of them.
This next photo, I love this one, by the way, because it kind of reminds me of myself when I'm looking at like a juicy prime rib. You know, I start licking my lips over here.
Hey, I may have stumped you, and I know
Really?
I know. Yay. Okay.
Oh, wait, look how overly confident I was on that.
Well, but this is so good because you're like everybody else, right? This is a very normal thing to totally think we have a body language nailed and then just maybe not have it right. Now, what you're saying is true. If you have a juicy dinner and you're cooking a chicken and some juice is dripping onto the floor, the dog is super excited and is probably licking its lips. I absolutely agree with you. However, when a dog is flicking its tongue, you know, lizard style or frog, like, you know, that kind of thing, it can also mean that they're really uncomfortable. Let's say you've got a toddler who's pushing a noisy toy truck really close to the dog, and the dog starts licking its lips. Then you have to evaluate the situation and say, oh my gosh, my dog is actually freaked out by the noise that truck is making.
Let's jump on to our next four-legged friend here. Okay, you mentioned toddlers. I have one. That's why I was kind of pointing myself. And look at this photo. We have one in this photo. And this, again, I'm going to say is classic behavior. And this is, bless this dog's heart. He's basically putting up with his little human crawling all over him.
I think that our goal, of course, is to have a dog who's tolerant. We want a dog who's going to put up with stuff because obviously then that dog's not going to be dangerous as a member of our family. However, I want everybody to raise the bar. I don't think that tolerance is enough, right? I mean, if I just put up with stuff every day, all day long, eventually I might have a breakdown. I might snap. Tolerance only takes you so far. Everybody's got a limit, and dogs have teeth. So I would like everybody to kind of raise the bar, right? Let's say, okay, tolerance is cool, but it's not fair to make our dog put up with any of that stuff.
This one, I gotta say, this one out of all of them is the one that sort of stumped me a little bit. Because here we have this dog who, he looks like he could be yawning, but he also looks like he could be yelping. But what I'm seeing with the psychology with the owner is that there's a bond there, right? Okay. So there seems like a comfort level.
So the dog is yawning. You had that right. So that was a really good call. And with the psychology part of the human is saying, I love you, I'm hugging you, right? Humans show our love in a really different way than dogs show their love, right? We gaze into each other's eyes, and dogs find that threatening. We squeeze and we snuggle, and dogs don't like to be restrained. And so what can happen in this photograph is the dog releases a yawn as a sign of discomfort, as a sign of like, hey, I'm really not very happy. Again, the dog is tolerating it, but that lady's face is very close to those teeth.
I love this one because what it's saying to me is, throw the ball. Where's the ball? Throw the ball.
It's like the classic play bow. And so I guess in yoga, they call it the downward dog, where you're like, half down, and that's based on the play bow of a dog. And so when a dog does that, they kind of jump around sometimes, like you said, they want to play ball. Some dogs will play bow to another dog to initiate play. Some dogs will do that to us to say, I'm ready, I have all this energy, let's go. But it's also accompanied with that loose open mouth that we saw in that first photo. And you can see, you know, it's hard in a snapshot because you can capture something that may be misleading. But in this particular case, this dog is super excited and ready to go.
I love it. Well, I, for one, learned so much today, Michelle. I absolutely love dogs. So this has been a fascinating conversation. It just goes to show you don't know everything, and you can always continue to learn and evolve with your furry four-legged friends.